Hi, everyone. My name is Lizz Noble, and I am so excited to bring to you Toastmasters a little presentation about blogging. And I'm so thankful to my friend Melanie, who's linked me up with you all. And she shared that some insight into how blogs can assist with maybe your personal presence online, or perhaps bigger goals you have, maybe working towards a book, maybe writing your speeches out and sharing them with the world through a blog. She had mentioned how there's some need for some technical context for everybody. So I'm happy to share this short presentation with you all in and around blogging and how we can get our voices out there and be heard. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. And I will be presenting now. So here we are, blogging, presented to Toastmasters. And once again, my name is Lizz Noble, and I'll have a slide at the end where you may reach out to me through an email address or connect on LinkedIn if you have any further questions. So there's tons of blogging platforms out there. You can make a blog in many different ways. I've even seen blogs most recently shared on platforms like Instagram, where a picture might accompany and then a section of text below is included. And this actually is a very interesting sort of new blog called a micro blog. But right now we're talking about maybe more classical means of blogging, and some big platforms out there are, I'm sure, ones you've heard of, like Squarespace, Wix, and WordPress. These are website builders, and you can actually start a blog on each one of these popular sites for free without needing to begin a website. So there are two facets to all of these platforms in terms of WordPress, Squarespace, and Wix. And you can for sure purchase a domain and do all that fancy kind of website building, probably with a web developer, because it's pretty detailed stuff. Or you can go on there and actually choose to just start a blog. And a blog really is just a space where you're sharing your writing, and you can send folks there with a URL, just the web address, and people can actually access your written works. So many websites do offer this, and you can always Google WordPress blog, Squarespace blog, Wix blog, and get something set up. These services should be free. If you're looking to actually add this blog to an existing website, if you have a website, for example, on WordPress or Squarespace or Wix or GoDaddy or any of those spaces that people build websites, there are often free blog inputs, or plugins that you would use to add to your website. And this essentially would create a subcategory where maybe in addition to your background bio or your services offered or YouTube videos of you presenting, this would also provide a place where you could share your written work. So blogging can also help with something called SEO, and that's search engine optimization. Search engines are ubiquitous these days. They're a part of everything that most of us do. If we're looking for anything, we head to a search engine, right? Even if it's something frequent that we are looking for, like a social platform or maybe a restaurant we like, we always seem to come back to those search engines, don't we? And so how blogging can assist with your personal SEO, so how can people find you on a web space, is that if you're using key terms like your name, maybe topics that you personally speak on, it could be a variety of things that you include in your blog. Essentially, SEO and search engines like Google or a Yahoo or a Bing, they rely quite heavily on the written word. They're not quite there in terms of relying on video or relying on photos exclusively. They have to work together as an algorithm, as an engine, for the ability to source material and send people who are searching for the topic or your name in the direction of your blog or your website. So when you're putting together a website, for example, you might have that section that's services, you might have that section that's a bio about yourself, but those are usually the areas that have the most text on a site. Now, if we're looking at wanting to be found on the web, having a social presence, Blogs are actually longer form. You can write one that's 200 words. You can write one that's 3,000 words. Really depends on your message, depends on what you're trying to get out there to people. And that gives a search engine lots of good fuel for a result. So if somebody's looking for Toastmasters Canada, they'll be able to find that through a search engine because there's been multiple things written about Toastmasters. And if somebody's searching for you, it's best to add your name into a blog, the common topics or things you speak on, maybe whatever your project might be. This actually gives search engines extra fuel so that people can find you online. Many daunting things come up when somebody thinks about starting a digital project. And this one comes up a lot when I'm coaching individuals that have their own businesses and they're wondering, what kind of digital content should I put together? Well, topics can be a little overwhelming. What am I supposed to write on? I'm sure this isn't a total sort of blank space for Toastmasters, because those of you who are participating in this have likely been given themes or topics to write a speech on or to speak about weekly. So topics can be literally anything. You want to speak from a place of honesty, be authentic in your blog. You want to be factual and make sure that you're actually providing resources for people. If you maybe reference a study or you reference a fellow person that is maybe somebody at Toastmasters, you can use a feature where you hyperlink a section of text to another website. And this actually helps build a larger web, which also facilitates SEO and search engine optimization. The more you're linking to people, the more you're linking to other websites is actually going to kind of build the clout of your blog. So topics can be a little daunting, like I mentioned, but if you have your mission statement, if you have something that really makes you excited, you're passionate about, that bothers you, anything in those arenas that you feel you have something to say, it's great to build out a blog on those topics. People are going to feel when it's authentic. They're going to feel when it's coming from a true place. So be passionate about it. And really, there's not a lot of rules around blogging. You don't want to just put a Twitter sort of update as a blog. You should be looking at several hundred to 1,000 or more words. And you want to make sure that you're breaking it up into proper paragraphs, making sure spelling and grammar is right and ready to go. Nobody likes reading something like that and it ends up sort of taking you out and distracting you if there is a spelling or grammar mistake. So if you also have sources, like I mentioned before, it's important to put those into your text and hyperlink them. And consider adding things like images. If your blogging platform allows for that, it typically will ask you for a featured image. So if it's that you're writing about today, maybe I would be the featured image on that blog. You want to make sure as well, for accessibility's sake, to add something called alternative text to your imagery. And what that is so that people who are using assistive technology, in this case, a screen reader, many people who are blind use this, they might be going through your blog and they come across an image. To provide context and additional information to people reading your blog, you should add alternative text. And this is simple. Usually blogging platforms will give you a space underneath an uploaded image that'll say alternative text or tags, or you can right click onto an image and you can actually add alternative text there. And what you're looking to do is just explain what the image is. You can talk about what it looks like. You can talk about anything really that is descriptive that provides additional context to your reader. So some things additionally to consider. Write your blogs in Word or a word processor first, making sure you get that spelling and grammar all tickety-boo, right? You want to also consider asking guest writers to come on. If maybe you specifically talk about something that's a topic or a theme and you've connected with somebody, maybe an influencer, maybe another person in your community, it's a great idea to ask them to do a guest blog. What this does is takes the person's sort of pool of followers or people who are interested in what they're doing, and it actually ends up flooding sort of your lines to your site or to your blog. So you're accessing other people's networks. and hopefully fostering more people to follow your blog or to come back and read. So guest blogs are a really great way to get some more readership. Additionally, I love using an written interview style for a blog. So you can do a nice open intro paragraph, for example, and then you can actually send a section of questions to a guest or to somebody that you would like to interview. And they can maybe write back a couple of answers to those questions, and you can include them in your blog. Another way to do this is just simply record yourself speaking with somebody, and you can always take what kind of answers they have from there, and you can transpose them into a blog. This just, again, also is an interesting way for people to access your content, and it's different. It's not just a section of text. It's some questions and answers on a topic, and again, can actually draw from that person's pool of contacts or draw from that person's network to share that they've been, picked or chosen or whatever to be featured on your blog. And that way you get some people who are actually going to come and access your information. So blogging is overall a really great idea that you can use for boosting your online presence. You can, for very little to no cost, build your brand through a blog, show people your personality. Also, kind of connect with people. People can comment on blogs. People can share blogs. People have in the past, I think, made their name for themselves as a blogger. And this isn't as frequent because people kind of looked more towards something like YouTube or maybe podcasts or other types of media to latch in. But if you're talented with writing or you want to work on your writing and you have a brand to develop or to sell and to develop a presence online, blogging is a great way to do this. And at the end of the day, if it's just about getting visitors to your website, SEO is a bonus. So I want to thank you all for attending this little snapshot into blogging, where you can post a blog, how you can develop topics, and how to write and get some more people to your platform and develop your social presence and your online presence. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Once again, my name is Liz Noble on that platform. And you can follow up with me via email if you have any further questions. And that's Liz with 2 Zs, liznoble.consultant@gmail.com. So thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you attending this talk, and reach out.